Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for investing your time on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to listen to these beautiful topics that I have to say. Now, we have some familiar faces from the last workshop and some new ones too, which is both lovely to see. A bit of backstory behind why I created this event. When I was 17 years old, right here at Squashlands, I was first introduced to personal development by my personal trainer at the time, Mr. Ali Ibrahim. He told me right by the water fountain at those tables after a training session, he said, "Dan, you should look into personal development." And I thought, personal development? What, is something wrong with me? Why do I need personal development? But as I took the initiative and researched it later that night, my life changed. And it was the absolutely best decision I made. And in today's seminar, I hope you can take away with sincerity these topics and ideas that have changed my life and the millions of lives of people around the globe. So let's get into the first topic, starting the process of change. The biggest challenge for most people is personal development. It's hard to give up the old blame list. People are so comfortable blaming their shortcomings on the companies, their interest rates, their negative relatives. It's hard to go from blaming everyone and everything to taking full responsibility for your life. Back in the Great Depression, 500 new millionaires were made. I believe they were made because of this important statement. It's not what happens in the world that determines the major part of your future. What happens, happens to us all. The key is what you do about it. So I encourage you to start the process of change. Do something new in the following 90 days than you've done in the previous. Whether it be pick up a new healthy discipline, start reading a new book, improve the relationship with a family member. No matter how small the action, you need to start that process. Here's another secret to success. All that you have at the moment, you've attracted by the person you are. Once you begin to understand this principle, it explains so much. We humans operate on a frequency like the radio. When you change the frequency on a radio station, you get a new channel. We humans operate very similar like that. Everything that we attract is everything we attract on that frequency level. If you're on a low frequency, you can expect to attract things on that frequency. If you're operating on a low frequency throughout the day, people seem meaner, the day doesn't look as bright, time seems shorter. It just doesn't seem like everything works for you. But if you can increase your frequency to a higher level, you can expect higher attractions. The day looks brighter, the day is longer, people are smiling more. It's beautiful what you can achieve on a higher frequency level. Most people have pennies in the bank and are behind on their promises. Here's how that's occurred. Misfortune has taken place because of the kind of person they are. So how can you change this? Simple. If you will change yourself, everything will change for you. So don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems, wish for more solutions. If you will start the process of change, everything will change for you. And now we are all self-made. There are principles to self-making. When most people think of Benjamin Franklin, they think of the lightning bulb, electricity, the kite. What most people don't know is Benjamin Franklin was one of the first people to address the principles of self-making back in 1732, when he wrote Poor Man's Almanac, a novel for people that couldn't afford higher education at the time. He would slip in clever little quotes to get people thinking. One of those was, "Diligence is the mother of good luck." You know, it's amazing how all the hardworking, intelligent people have all the luck. You sometimes hear of athletes or music bands that rise to success overnight, and you think, boy, they must have been at the right place, at the right time, knew the right people. But if you read into their story and look at their interviews, you soon realize that this overnight success took years to accomplish. Diligence is the mother of good luck. Benjamin Franklin also left us with 3 principles of success that have withstood the test of time, and I'd love to share those with you today. The first principle was happiness doesn't come from big pieces of great success, but from small daily achievements. What Mr. Franklin is saying is that you've got to be happy with who you are while in pursuit of all that you want. Too often you hear people say, I'll just be happy when I get a better job. I'll just be happy when I have more money. I'll just be happy when I get that promotion. I'll just be happy when, just what? You won't be any happier right now than you are when you achieve your goals. It simply doesn't work that way. Mr. Lincoln said it best. You'll be as happy as you set your mind to be right now. Mr. Franklin's second principle was life is not rigid. Within each of us lies the power to mold ourselves and our environment to anything we want. It is up to each of us to start this molding process with a final image in mind, and is within our responsibility to continue to work on achieving this final image in mind. And Mr. Franklin's last principle of success is that success is a pleasure. If you're not happy and satisfied with your life as it is right now, you cannot really be successful. If you're not satisfied and gratified with who you are and what you are doing, it is not possible to be successful. Now, I know success is a relative term. It means different things to different people. You ask a kid, what does success mean? He might say, getting a star on my spelling bee test. You ask a business person, what does success mean? He might say, getting that end of year promotion or getting that big client to help improve the company. But there's one testimonial you'll hear from all successful people, and that is they are happy and gratified with who they are and what they are doing. So if at the end of each day, you can write down 3 things that made that day a success, you'll soon see patterns forming. It's a really good habit to get into. And when you see a pattern of pleasure, you'll know you're on the track to success. So remember Mr. Franklin's 3 principles of success. Happiness doesn't come from big pieces of great success, but from small daily achievements. Life is not rigid, and success is a pleasure. Now, accepting responsibility. That is a great characteristic of a great character. During the early years of the NBA, when it was formerly known as the National Basketball League, there was a player called Bill Russell. He was a tall center forward for the Boston Celtics at the time, one of the best in the leagues. He was a tall center forward. He had great offensive work and defensive work. However, he did have his flaws, like all of us. He wasn't the best free throw shooter, as most tall center forwards are. But this statistic didn't represent Bill Russell as a basketball player. And in one game, he proved that. It was the Game 7 of the championship finals against Boston Celtics versus the Lakers. The Celtics were up by 1 point with 12 seconds left to go, and they had the ball. The Lakers knew they would have to foul someone in order a chance to get the ball back and score to win the game. So they decided to foul Bill Russell. Now, logically speaking, this is the correct move to make. Bill Russell had the worst free throw percentage on the court. And Bill Russell had a very peculiar way of shooting the basketball. You see, when he would get fouled and go on the free throw line, he would grab the ball around waist height, squat down like he's about to shovel dirt over a brick wall, and scoop the ball in. It was a ridiculous way to shoot. No self-respecting basketball player now would dare to shoot like this. It's just too ridiculous. But as soon as they fouled Bill Russell, he knew the Celtics won the game. As there was a more important factor coming into play, something statistics and percentages can't measure. Simply put it, Bill Russell was a man who wanted to take full responsibility for his team either winning or losing the game. He wanted the ball in his hands and nobody else's. He didn't want to have to blame anyone else. He wanted to take full responsibility. It doesn't matter if he missed every other shot beforehand. He knew he was going to make this one. And that's exactly what happened. You see, that's virtually what happens when any man or woman steps up to take full responsibility. Those who raise children would know. When a baby's first born, it's sending one clear message to its parents. I am totally dependent on you. Anything I do, I cannot be held responsible. After all, it's just a baby. But as that baby grows up 10 or 12 years later into adolescence, that message changes. It turns into, why don't you just leave me alone? I want to be totally independent of you. It's only once we've matured into adulthood that the first two messages of I'm totally dependent on you and I'm totally independent of you turn into you can depend on me. That's the truly adulthood look onto life. Now, strange as it may seem, there are still people in their 30s and 40s who act like adolescents. And there's some people in their 50s and 60s who still act like babies when it comes to responsibility. These people can be hard to have around, but these people can also provide you with an opportunity. As for those who shriek, the calling from responsibility provides the few who would step up to take it. So if you'll be one of the few that embraces opportunity, you deserve to lead. Winston Churchill said it best. Responsibility is the price of greatness. And I think that's a worthy price to pay. Now, we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. That's a simple statement of economic facts. You don't get paid for the time you bring, you get paid for the value. So if that's true, is it possible to become twice as valuable to the marketplace? Of course. Is it possible to become 4 times as valuable to the marketplace? Certainly. Is it possible to become 20 times as valuable to the marketplace and earn 20 times the amount of money in the same time? Of course. You see, success is like climbing a ladder. It starts at minimum wage and it goes all the way to $200 million and more. Now, why would the marketplace pay someone minimum wage? Simply put it, he must not be very valuable. That is to the marketplace, of course. He may be a very valuable family member, a valuable member of the community, a valuable member to God. We're all of equal value in the eyes of God. But to the marketplace, not very valuable. Why would the marketplace pay someone $50 an hour? Simply put it, he must be that valuable. Why would the marketplace pay someone $500 an hour? He must be that valuable. Why would the marketplace pay someone $200 million per year for a year's worth of work? That person must be very valuable. You see, if you're making the company $4 billion a year, they would be happy to pay you $200 million. You see, if you work hard on yourself, you'll make a fortune. If you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. So work harder on yourself than you do your job. As success is something you attract, not pursue. Success is quite like the butterfly that you can never quite catch. To attract success, you need to develop successful traits. What you learn about the marketplace, what you learn about its goods and services, that's what's valuable. To get paid very well, you have to develop very valuable skills. That's as simple as it is. And an easy way to do this is to become all you can be. How do you know when you're successful? Is it when you're a millionaire? No. All that there is to ask is that you do all you possibly can. If that's earned $10,000, great. If that's $100,000, perfect. If that's $1 million, fantastic. You see, it doesn't matter the amounts, as the essence of life is growth. Don't ask for more security, ask for more adventure. I'll tell you how risky life is. None of us are making it out alive. Simple as that, simple as that. You see, it doesn't matter how long we live for. That's not important. It's important how we live. That's the key. Humans are the only life form that will settle for less. Isn't that interesting? All other life forms strive for maximum capability. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it can. You've never heard of a tree growing as half as it could. A tree grows as tall as it can, it sends its roots down as deep as it can, it stretches its arms as wide as it can, it develops all the fruits, all the leaves that it can. So why do humans not strive all that we can. Because we've been given the dignity of choice. And the choice is to become part of what you could be, enough to get by, or to become all you can be. That's the choice. I'd choose the all. Read all the books that you can. Develop all the skills that you can. Make as much fortune as you can. Give as much away as you can. As when you're focusing on growth, it's easy to succeed. It's easy to do all that you can do. The more you do, the more you will get. And it's a challenge to grow. Here's a pitiful scenario. If your income grew and you didn't, it's vital that when your income jumps, you go to where it is, otherwise it will come back down to where you are. That's the problem with the lottery. You see, the lack of personal development the person has gone through to be able to master and keep this money, as the fortune has become bigger than the person rather than the person becoming bigger than the fortune. So it's challenging to be in a situation that demands growth. If that situation is success, keep growing till you're bigger than the fortune. If that situation is failure, keep growing till you're bigger than the problem. Fortune doesn't want to wait around in an incompetent person. That's a simple, true statement. The more you do, the more you get. Keep growing and keep becoming. So here's my takeaway advice for you today. Step away from the 97%. Don't talk like they talk. Don't act like they act. Don't go where they go. Don't specialize in what they specialize in. Throw away the blame list that they cling to. Start you a new life. Switch gears, switch ideas, switch strategies. Start with the simplest of disciplines, and don't bemean any of these simple disciplines. The simplest of disciplines can begin life change. It's called the beginning of a miracle.